Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do a little Elvie product review and to tell you the reasons why I decided to sell my Elvie pump. Go ahead and get started. I will like to begin this video with some of the pros on why I did choose to buy the Elvie. It is an expensive pump, but when I was breastfeeding like around the clock, something that would align to my needs at the time as like a working from home mom. So I wanted to preface that, but I do want to say a couple good things about it, that it is a wireless pump and that I did choose this over the Willow after doing some research. Wanted to get something that I would help me like pump because I went back to work so early that I wanted something that I could wear and not be strapped to a wall and be more discreet. I also wanted something that was easier because I thought in 2021 I could travel more, which I did, but by the time I was traveling I wasn't really pumping like that. But I thought, I was like, oh, I can actually go out and I could just pack my pumps easier. It'd be easier to pump like in public if I ever left Grady. But as we know, the pandemic didn't go away. So the main reasons why I went to the Elvie, and I did some research and everyone wanted the Elvie over the Willow. And it worked well the first couple of months. The app was great. It did have some errors to it, but it was a cool function, a cool app, a cool pump. But I would not repurchase it again for a second baby. And then I'm going to tell you 5 reasons why I decided to sell my Elvie pumps about 4 months into my breastfeeding journey. The first reason was that I didn't realize, because during the pandemic I had Grady here with me, I didn't really need them as much as I thought I would need them. It was nice to have, but it was a really form of like a luxury to have them when I did. I wasn't that mom that like had to pump all the time because I was working out of the house or I was traveling a lot, or like because of COVID, I was always with my baby. So just because of time, I really didn't use them as much as I thought I would. I did it like the first month. I really was like obsessed with them. I would use them all the time. But then as the months progressed, I really established just wanting to chest feed instead because I was able to. So that's definitely a circumstantial reason, but that was a reason why I sold them, because they were just, after a while when Grady got down to like 4 or 5 feedings a day, they were just sitting there. Number 2, the reason why I sold them is that the parts are really expensive. So I'm the type of person that loves having new parts, and their parts are like $100 altogether every like 4 to 5 weeks, and it's just like not worth for me to pay that if I wasn't really using the pumps every single day. I was an exclusive pumper, but that's something to keep in mind, that they really are expensive to upkeep. Or the third reason why I sold them was because they didn't actually empty me the same way that the Spectra did. It was more of like trial and error. I was in all these Facebook groups trying to figure out how to get the best use out of them, like the paper towel trick and like the different bras you would have to wear. And only sometimes, or I would all of a sudden have like 6 ounces in there, which was very like a one-off. I normally would pump like 2 to 3 ounces, which my Spectra would get me like 4 ounces all the time. And I was like just enougher. There were some times where I would pump like way over, but that was very like a one-off. Just because I chest fed so much, my doctor was saying that my body was just very in tune with what Grady needed. And so with the Elvie, I was always worried about if I would always have to finish off with the Spectra. So they didn't empty me enough if I didn't use them just right. If you hit that sweet spot, you can get them to empty you out, and they're nice to have if you're out and about, but there might be times where you might get like clogged ducts or mastitis because they're not emptying you out all the way. And I always tell people I use them as a secondary pump versus a primary pump, but I know not everyone can do that. So if you're looking for it as a primary pump, just remember that can happen. It might not empty you out. The fourth reason, there's more competition out there. Have a second baby, God willing, I'm trying to buy the Elvie Stride instead because it looks like that's a better pump. And I just know more about breastfeeding now, so I can like really do more research, and it was really hyped up. Like All the influencers were talking about it. They loved it. I understand where people are coming from when they talk about the Elvie, and it works for some people. And to reference, I'm about like 38, 40 double D, and it worked well even being bigger chested. It was just the anxiety that it gave me, like trying to get it in the right way. I would have to take it out and like wipe it off and put it back on for the suction to really work, because if any of the parts got wet, it just would stop working mid pump session, which was annoying. And not being able to see everything when you are pumping with a Spectra or a pump like that, you're able to see the milk. So just the functionality of it. Fifth reason, just the functionality of it. I still have my Spectra, and I'd rather just use the Spectra over the Elvie. So those were just, you know, a couple or 5 reasons why I decided to return my Elvie pumps. And I sold them to someone else, and I don't miss them. Like, I sold them like maybe 5 months ago, and I haven't really had a time like, oh, I wish I had my Elvies, because Grady's at the age now where he is feeding less. But that newborn to like 5-month stage where all their feedings are coming from you, it definitely helped my anxiety and gave me some free time. It was easier for me to pump. But I honestly could have just kept with the Spectra, and I probably should have just gotten the battery powered Spectra instead, and it was covered with insurance. But that's just something that I have learned. When I first got it, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I loved it at first, but 6 months, I have a 6-month review of it now, and I don't think it's worth the $500. So if you have any questions, comment down below. If you want me to do more reviews, I know I have a lot of baby products, so if you want me to tell you like my honest review of something else, I can go ahead and make that video as well. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.